Good morning everybody and welcome to the Number 8 Lifestyle Flower Club. It's April already. It's a beautiful day today here in Wheat Hampstead, really nice and sunny, but as we all know, the weather this week's been a bit bonkers, so in 5 minutes it could be pouring down with rain, but let's enjoy the sunshine while it's there. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate your time and I hope that you'll learn something from this video. Today's Flower Club deliveries are this lovely bunch here, so I'm going to run through what's in it, and I'm also going to show how to arrange it really simply in this gorgeous vintage vase. So as many of you know, I've got a bit of a thing for vintage vases, or vases in general, let's be honest, and this is one that I got a week or so ago. It's a Wade one, part of the Flaxman collection that Wade did, and I just love it. It's just really nice, beautiful colouring to it, lovely greens and yellows, but I really like the shape of it. So I think vases don't need to be boring, they can be lovely, you know, that could be a good standalone piece on its own, just on a shelf. So they don't need to be boring, you can have them out, they don't have to be shoved in a cupboard under the sink or anything. But I just really like the shape of this. You've got the ribbing at the bottom and the foot, it comes in at the neck and then it comes out at the top. So vases like this are really nice to do arrangements in, because they will fall nicely and you don't need to necessarily you know, do a hand-tied arrangement or have chicken wire or anything in there to kind of get the hold that you need on your stems. So I'll just take the camera down a little bit to show you what you've got in your bunch. So we've got a lovely little pop of sunshine in there. So we've got Germinis. So these are a smaller size gerbera, not quite so imposing as the general gerberas that you see. These have got lovely sturdy stems. Quite often when we're using these in wedding work, we will wire them to support them, and it helps you know, bend them over and things. But these have been conditioned overnight and they're really strong and sturdy. With Germinis and gerberas and anything that's got a furry stem, so ranunculus and things like that, they don't like being in water that's too deep, so probably just a few inches of water, and then you can obviously trim your stems down in a few days when you change the water. So we've got Germinis. We have got Waxflower Olivia. So Waxflower is one of my favorites. It's just very delicate, looks really nice in an arrangement. It really adds a nice bit of texture and a bit of movement through an arrangement. We also have some Lisianthus Piccolo Violet. These ones are gorgeous deep purple colour there. So we're going for kind of nice bright colours this month, as we're going kind of from spring into summer, dare I say it. We've got some gorgeous clematis. I'm just going to prep these as I'm going through them, just take those leaves off that will fall below the waterline. So with clematis, they're also lovely, they add movement as well, but you also get, you know, some are just opening up. You've got buds that will open as well, so really nice nice flower to add to a bouquet or an arrangement. And although they are quite delicate, they last really well in water too as a cut flower. So ones in the garden probably don't as much, but these are obviously grown specifically for floristry industry. We've got some Royal Porcelain spray roses. So these are a lovely sort of ivory cream colour, and just work really nicely with this colour palette. So I'm just going to strip those. Now, these are stem strippers, they're brilliant. If you've got, you know, thorny stems, literally you just pop them in and pull down, and it will just take the ends off of the thorns on a rose. You don't want to rip the whole thing off, because otherwise as water comes up the stem it'll evaporate out through the gaps. So you just really want you're just knocking the ends of the thorns off, just to take away that sharpness. And we've got some lovely ruscus here, so it's a lovely long stem. So if you are doing a shorter arrangement, you could even cut that in half and you'd have, you know, double the amount. So I'm just going to strip these a little bit. So literally just put your hand round and pull down, simple as that. Okay, so we are ready to start putting our arrangement together. So grab your vase. And as I say, I'm not doing this in any particular way in terms of hand tying, but I am cutting 45-degree angle. I'm just going to take it down a little bit more. And proportions generally are 2/3, 1/3. So 2/3 vase, 1/3 flowers, or 2/3 flowers, 1/3 vase. But I think with this arrangement, because the vase is so nice and decorative, I'm going to kind of have the 1/3 as my flowers and foliage, and the 2/3 of the vase. So this is kind of good general size for just having at home, really, just having on your table. And so now I'm going to add in the lilies. So I've crossed the stems over as I've been putting them in, and then I'm just going to put the lizzies in between the stems of foliage. So this kind of come towards me. And then these ones will come in between these ones. So you've got them sitting nicely around the edge. And as I say, where this comes in and out, they sit really nicely. I'm just going to bring you back up a little bit. And we've got some left that we can just pop through the middle as well. So with lizzies, you can split them down. When you get them from a florist, they have really nice thick stems. You can generally get sort of 2 or 3 out of one stem, so they're really good value. I'm going to add in my clematis, so I'm going to come in more or less where our foliage is. So we've got our ruscus here. I'm just going to slot that in next to, but coming in at an angle. And what that will start to do is it will start to build a sort of a framework, if you like, inside the vase. So where the stems are crossing over one another, that will actually help sort of keep them in place. So let's come around with this one. Sorry, I'm a little bit snuffly still at the moment. I think it's a combination of back end of a cold and hay fever. So now we're going to come in with our royal porcelain roses. Again, just dotting those in next to where we've placed our lizzies. So you've got that nice combination, whichever way you look at the vase, of excuse me, clematis, lizzies, and your porcelain roses and your ruscus. So just take that round to this side, nice sharp cut, 45 degrees, and take that in. It's a little bit long, so just going to cut a couple of inches off of that one. There we go, that's better. And then I'm going to add in now my Geminis, and this will be a lovely pop of colour, just a little bit, not too overpowering, but just adds a nice little pop against the purple and the cream. Now this one's very bendy stem. I'm going to take this one down a little bit, so I've varied the heights, so where we've got kind of the pops of colour, it just draws the eye through the arrangement a little bit more. Got a couple of odd Lizzies here, slot those in. So really nice informal arrangement, but you've got the all-round interest. So if you've got this on a table, you're obviously, you know, going to have interest all the way around. Then I'm going to take my wax flower, this one's called Olivia, and I'm going to pop mine just around the edge, just kind of making use of that kind of overhang of the vase so that they hang out slightly. Yours are much fuller than mine, so you'll have more to play with. And again, nice sharp cut. I'm going to take, so generally with these what I do is kind of pop some around the outside and some in the middle, just to kind of bring it all together. So now we are coming in there. So you've got a nice all-round look, and that green just works really nicely with the rest of the flowers without being kind of too in your face and overpowering. It kind of enhances rather than overpowers. I'm just going to pop that one in through the middle. Apologies for the coughing and spluttering. Here we go. Right, so that is in. Have a little play around. Things aren't quite sitting right, pop them on your table. If you're having them on the table, sit down and look at them so that you can actually see what you're going to see. Whereas, you know, at the moment we're working from above, and you know, you want them to be kind of looking their best when they're in their final position on the table or wherever you're putting them. So it's always good to sort of step back, have a little look through, sit down if you're going to have them on a table or on a coffee table, and just turn the vase around. Really just make sure you've got kind of, you know, pretty even spread. Looking at this one, nice sort of rounded shape. This Lizzie is a little bit wayward, so I'm just going to take a little bit more off there and pop that in. So you've got interest on the top. Sorry, I haven't got the hang of this new camera yet. But then you've also got the interest around the sides of your vase as well, and then obviously your actual vase. So I think, you know, if you've got these vintage vases or a really nice sort of decorative vase, don't leave them in the cupboard, just get them out, pop them on a shelf, on a bookshelf, you know, really nice styled, or put some books under them and stand the vase on. So they are kind of standalone pieces really, as well as having, you know, that practical side and use. So I hope that was useful, and I hope you enjoy your flowers this month. If you're watching on YouTube and you're not in my flower club, thank you for taking the time to watch, and I hope you've learned something. Any questions or comments, of course, please pop them below. If there's anything else that you'd like to see me demonstrate from a floristry perspective, then, or anything you're struggling with, just let me know. You know, I'm very happy to show you. I want to share my knowledge with you, and, you know, make sure you get the best out of your flowers and the most out of your flowers. So you know, if you want me to demonstrate something else, then just let me know. I'm more than happy to do that. As you know, I can talk flowers all day, every day, and in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your week, and thank you for joining me. If you want to follow us on Instagram or Facebook, it's NO8 Lifestyle. And if you're subscribing on YouTube, thank you. Okay, enjoy your flowers and enjoy your day. Take care. Bye now.